Jane's weather update. It is Thursday morning, the 25th of January. This morning we do have Cyclone Kirrily crossing the coast later today. We have a big northwest cloud band that I'll be talking about, and also what's likely to happen over the next couple of weeks. Let's get into it. Here it is this morning. We have now become a Category 1 in our cyclone that's up in the northeast there, called Kirrily. That is likely to cross the coast near Townsville tonight. And then here is the path of it as it moves right inland, moving right into the Northern Territory, definitely not down into the southeast. That is very old news. If you see any of that, do not look at that one. It's now moving into the Northern Territory. We've also got a low that's here. So this is another tropical low, like a cyclone, but it's over land, so it doesn't have the power of a cyclone. But what it does have is moisture, so that is spilling out here across, coming down in a northwest cloud band, making it right into the southeast. I'll have a chat about that shortly, and we'll have a look at what's happening over the next couple of weeks. So, first of all, here's the latest guidance from the tropical cyclone. So this is at 8 a.m. Queensland time on Thursday morning. Here it is. It's a Category 1, expected to become a Category 2, cross near Townsville, and so it's all these areas in here that are expecting gales from this system. Once it moves inland, it starts to weaken, so the power starts to weaken, but it still is a big, juicy ball of rain, and wherever that spreads, they get the wet weather. So let's have a look at that in terms of the rain forecast. So here's over the next 8 days. Here we can see a very clear path of where it's moving inland in through here and making it right down through into these western parts of Queensland. So that's where all of the heavy rain is going. Western, so these parts of Queensland here, central into northern, not into the southeast. Lighter falls in through there. We'll have a look at that day by day in a sec. Otherwise, this tropical low that's over here, all of the heavy rain is here, but you'll notice it kind of peters out as it comes in here. I'll explain that one in a second. So I've just got this little bit moving through, but then that's it. So let's go day by day. Day 1, which is Thursday. Here's the path of the rainfall today associated with the cyclone, just a little bit of activity inland. So inland today, not a problem. Here is the rain coming down through Western Australia, completely missing the southwest there, moving across these parts of South Australia, mainly just off the coast there, and then just coming to Victoria. These aren't the heavy falls that we've seen recently. This is just more of a normal weather pattern. Let's go into day 2, which is Friday. That one starts to clear out. This one, here is the big ball of moisture, rain, heavy falls, potential flooding that is moving inland through Queensland there, not into the southeast. Meanwhile, this one here continues over Western Australia, nothing really left for South Australia. Heading into the weekend, so here we have day 3, which is Saturday. Here is all of that rain over these western parts of Queensland. Now, it does extend a bit down into the southeast here and northeast New South Wales as a disturbance moves through, so it can pick up some of that moisture. This is showers and thunderstorms. This here is heavy rain. Here we are, just the remains of what's moving through there. Nothing now in the southeast, except for Tasmania, where a cold front is moving past, so it's the west that sees that one. Heading into Sunday, here we go. All the heavy falls are over western Queensland, but it extends down into the southeast, showers and thunderstorms. If you're directly under a thunderstorm, you have the risk of heavy rain. But you'll notice for the Brisbane test, day 1 and 2, Thursday and Friday, there is no wet weather at all, then showers and storms could become a problem. Meanwhile, the one over in the west is completely dissipating. Heading into day 5, which is Monday. This is still happening here. We've got it moving into the NT, but we've got this area of showers and storms that's moving right down into the southeast as well. So do look out for that as we go through. You'll notice all quiet across the southeast and right into the west as well. And as we go through the early to mid part of next week, all the action is across the top here and down into southeast Queensland, just into northeast New South Wales. Everywhere south of that is seeing hardly anything at all, or it is completely dry. We'll have a look at why that is in a sec. Now, El Nino. Yes, we are in it. You can't deny that we are not in El Nino. What is El Nino? It's a Pacific Ocean thing, so it's a Pacific Ocean-wide thing that has global effects. And what it means is the water out here in the central parts of the Pacific is warmer than average. Now, what that encourages in Australia is hotter and drier than average conditions. You'll go, hotter and drier, that's not at all what we've seen. That's because this is one factor that influences our weather. Let's have a look at some other things that influence it. And here is the big one that has been impacting us. It is the Tasman Sea being incredibly warm. So this is much, much warmer than average in between Australia and New Zealand. And that is our new source of moisture. So whenever the pattern allows that to come in, then yes, we have the potential for heavy rain. So El Nino, yes, it is here, not having the effects we would normally see in Australia. Or is it? I'll address that in a second, because this one here has taken over, and we'll have a look in a sec why. Here we go. SAM, Southern Annular Mode. Since early December, that has been in a positive phase. Now, what that does is takes that big ball of moisture over the Tasman and slams it into southeastern Australia, a lot of the eastern states there, and if you've got low pressure there, it turns it into rain. Not just rain, but the potential for heavy falls. So that we've had that pattern. Now, have a look what's going on here. Started to dip down, went back up, started to dip down, and here we are having it right down over the other side, at least for this weekend through here. So that kind of tells you that we're taking a bit of a break. Now, you may be sitting there in Wangaratta this morning or up on the eastern ranges of Victoria and New South Wales down in the southeast there and go, hey, it's raining. It's not heavy rain. So we had Falls Creek, I think was the biggest one, 14 millimetres. It's not 140 millimetres, it's just 14. It's up on the ranges. There's nothing heavy with this system as it's coming through. We saw all of that moisture moving through WA and then petering out as it came across South Australia and Victoria, because we don't have this heavy rain mechanism with us. Yes, we get lightning. We might get fires start because it's more of a dry pattern, and we can get damaging winds because without that rain, it's just a big whoosh of wind that comes and hits the ground. And if you're directly underneath that, you can experience that. So this is telling us that for the next week or so, we're likely to see no heavy falls across southeastern Australia. And if we have a look back to this one, that is exactly what is happening. We are taking a break. Okay, let's have a look at what's happening in the tropics, because no such luck there. We moved into the Madden-Julian Oscillation, weird graph, but do bear with me. This is a pulse of tropical energy, and when it's in the green zone here, it's in the Australian part of the world. So we entered here as we went through, so 12th, 13th, 14th of Jan. It's coming in through here. Here it is now. It's staying with us right into the end of January, right through the beginning of February, right up until about the 10th. So that's the latest forecast for today. So this one means that the tropics part of Australia are going to remain active at least through to there. Now, that can come down and affect those in the south, like we're seeing with that northwest cloud band, but only if the weather system allows it to come through. And this one here tells us that the southeast is probably not going to see a lot from that. Cool. Let's have a look at that in action. So here is the Euro model, and we look at the week ahead. So this is next week starting on Monday. Here we are expecting all of that heavy rain to be moving in through here. We've got it sweeping down into here, but not quite making it to the southeast in terms of heavy falls for this time of year. But yes, it is extending through the Northern Territory there. Here we have from WA right across to the southeast, a lessening. This is our break from the heavy rain, particularly in the southeast here. It's looking like being drier than average. Let's have a look at what that does to temperature. Here's our cooler air, thanks to all of that moisture from the remains of the cyclone. But here is a large area of warmer than average. This is your your hot and dry, the encouragement that El Nino brings. As soon as we take a break from what's happening in the Tasman Sea here, yes, it does take back over, and we do have hot and dry. Look at this map very closely though. You'll see it is covering a very large area. It goes down to the southwest, but through South Australia and Victoria, anywhere on that southern coastline through there, missing the heat. So we're going to have a pattern that enables onshore airflow for the south coast, and so that means that we don't see the extreme temperatures, but they will be just inland, all in through these parts here. So inland, hot and dry. On the coast, drier than average, but not the extreme heat as we have the relief from a southerly wind. Okay, so that's week one. Let's head here and have a look at week two. So this is starting on the 5th of February, and here's a bit of a break for Queensland. So it's looking drier than average. All of the action is here over the Northern Territory. You've got the activity up the top because we still have that monsoon with us, thanks to that MJO being in our area. And so this here now, this indicates that maybe some of it will come down here into South Australia, probably more of a Western South Australia thing. Missing the southwest once again, nothing for Perth here, but not coming into the southeast yet. So we know we've got this big ball of moisture across the top. If the pattern can bring it down here, then we get the heavy rain too. Only if this moves back out and our SAM in through here moves back northwards. So that's something to keep an eye on. Okay, the temperature part of that, here we go. The heat moves back here right into New South Wales and into southeast Queensland. But again, looking through here, we're missing the heat right on the coast. So that indicates that overall, there'll be a southerly airflow, onshore winds, heat inland, not at the coast. Okay, let's have a look at a couple of locations. janesweather.com. This gives you all of the different model guidance, the very latest model guidance. It updates as soon as that is available and condenses that into one consensus forecast for your spot. Here we are having a look at Townsville. Wind starting to increase. So have a look at these gusts in through here. Moving up about the middle of the afternoon. So there we are, 4 p.m. going above 60. There we go, increasing as we go up about 90, 100. That is as the cyclone is coming in and crossing. And then tomorrow morning it starts to ease off. In terms of rainfall, up to 120, up to 66. It's this afternoon that most of the heavy falls are into the early hours of tomorrow morning. So that's how it's going to affect Townsville as it comes through. Let's head a long way inland because we talked about the power of this disappearing. Here we are at Richmond, all the way inland in Queensland. Have a look at the winds as we go through tomorrow. It doesn't have the power, it doesn't have the strong and gusty winds, but it does have the rain. So it's the rain that is what is going to be this big ball of moisture that comes in and hangs around for a long period of time. So here in Richmond, up to 106 millimetres as that goes through, and there could be more in the days to come even as we head into next week. All right, that's it from me for today. Go well with that cyclone as it comes in. We know about the northwest cloud band, how that's petering out over the southeast. Might get some rain, but it's not heavy falls. Instead, it's lightning strikes as it comes through. I'll have more information for you next week. Bye.